there's the voice that you speak in, right?
Mm.
And it's there's the voice that you communicate with, that you say to your you talk to your friends, you talk to your parents, and it's just like your conversational voice. And then there's the voice that you hear in your head when you go to sleep at night, or the voice that you hear when things get really quiet and it's inside of you. And it almost feels like the voice underneath the voice. And that to me is what the poetry requires. It's the voice that's underneath the voice. It's the voice when you're alone and you can be completely yourself. And we all have it, you know. It's just a matter of trusting it, and also, you know, protecting it, holding on to who you are, and not letting anyone take that away is really important to as an artist, you know. And to remember that, to ground yourself in who you are, who you're, you know, who's in your heart. And I think that's a lesson for life too. I think lots of people want you to be different things. And, you know, some people want you to be really serious, and some people want you to be lighten up, and some people want you to, you know, smile more, and some people want you to take it more seriously. And I really try to focus on what it is that who I am.
Yeah.
And be authentic with who I am. I grew up in a community where like poets were, you spoke out loud, like you memorized your poems, you presented them, you know. And so for me, it seems so weird when people are like, oh no, poems are meant to be just read quietly by yourself. I was like, no, they're not. They're meant to be like, you can write them quietly by yourself and you can share them, but then usually it's great to have, even if you don't want to read them yourself, that someone else can read them. The way that I love poems is to read them out loud. Like if I love a poem that someone gives me, not my own poem, but someone else, like I read it out loud. And like, that to me is giving it a little bit of life. When you hear a good poem that really moves you, you actually do have that physical response. You have a, you know, what is that? What is it that just happened to me? Was it, did it hurt? Did it feel good? I don't know. Something happened. And I think that we do have a physical reaction. And a lot of times we don't talk about that. We just think, oh, it's a, you know, something on the page, or we share it on Instagram and it's very flat, you know? And I think of poems as more of a living, breathing thing that's meant to be kind of travel through our bodies. You know, I always say when we have writer's block, it's not because we have nothing to say. It's because we have too much to say. And so sometimes we have so much to say, and I have so much to say, that I have to just let it filter. I have to let it move through my body, move through my blood, move through my mind, move through my heart, before I can actually process it a little bit, and then start to distill and start to think, okay, let's begin with the tree. You know, because I think it's very hard. It's like, I don't think writer's block, I don't think it's like, oh, there's just a, you know, a dial tone, right? Or like a buzz. It's not static. It's, what do we hear? It's like we hear everything. And I think, especially if you're an artist and a creative person, it's too much. It's overwhelmed. And so I think actually when like allowing myself to just let that be, and to know it's too much and not to try to force it, that's been really something unexpected that's come out of this time. I used to think of success as like, okay, you know, you win a prize, or you do this, or you know, and now it's just like, the biggest prize I can win is like writing a poem. Like that's when I feel the best and most alive, is right after I have written something and I think, oh, I just did that. Like my body, my little body that has somehow, you know, survived all this way and come from ancestors who somehow survived all their way, has made something. And that, I don't know, that has never ceased to been a remarkable thing for me. it's one of the things that keeps me going, is that it's just such an exhilarating feeling to actually make something and be able to offer it to the world.